Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you that are new here or recently found my channel, I am Gwen. I am an older woman with transgender experience. So how has everybody been? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Excuse me, for those of you of the Christian faith, belated happy Easter. For those of you of the Jewish faith, happy Passover. Let's see. So, yes, as I said, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope your week has been going well. I was going to make a video yesterday, but something happened, which I'll explain, and I apologize for not making the video yesterday. I had every intention of it, but things happen. Anyways, I'm on my way to electrolysis, so I thought I'd make the video as I go. And yes, I don't have any lipstick on because this is all I have. Lidocaine numbing cream on my face right now. Anyways, yesterday I had every intention of making the video, and I was all set, ready to go, and just as I was ready to make the video, I received a phone call, and it was from my mother-in-law, and she says, "I cut myself, I need help, can you come over?" I'm like, okay. So I grabbed my daughter's car keys and rushed right over because my daughter's car was outside. It was the closest. So I rushed right over, and my mother-in-law it's a handheld, battery-operated, cordless hedge trimmers. And she was putting the blade on, and I don't know how she did it, but she activated, because there's a interlock switch, so you got to push a button and squeeze the trigger at the same time in order to get the blades to work. Somehow she pushed the button and squeezed the trigger, must be with her left hand, and she cut her index finger and her ring finger on her right hand. So I get over there, and she's holding her hand. She goes, "I don't dare open it up." I says, "Okay." And we got into the bathroom. I turned the water on. I says, "Well, let's wash the blood off." And she's like, "I don't want to look. I don't want to look." I'm like, "Well, you got to open up your hand." So she opened it up. She cut through the skin, but that's all she really cut through. She did not cut any muscles. So, I mean, it was more of a superficial wound. It wasn't very deep. So, and surprisingly, it wasn't bleeding much at all. So, I got a rag for her to hold and had her elevated above her heart, which is what you're supposed to do. And then we cleaned it off, and I wrapped it in gauze and wrapped it with waterproof medical adhesive tape. So, and then she had on the middle finger and their baby finger like two tiny puncture wounds. Oh my gosh, they're maybe the size of a pencil point. So put band-aids on that. I thought she was going to pass out. She had panicked. I'm not going to say she was in shock, but she had panicked. And her anxiety was kicking in, so she was about ready to pass out, but I got her patched up, and she was good to go. And so then I left, and by the time I got back home, it was time to get the dog's dinner ready, so I'm like, well, all right, I won't be able to make the video. Anyways, so last week, I did mention it last Wednesday, actually a week ago today, I took my mother-in-law up to the local hospital for a procedure, and I was wearing, it's a very dark blue darker than my seatbelt. So this is actually black. It's like a dark navy blue with white pinstripes. It's a skirt suit. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous. I've worn it before. A white button-down shirt. And so I took her up to the hospital. A little bit of confusion on where she was supposed to go. She wasn't sure, but we got it taken care of and got her in. I went into the procedure room with her. So the nurse, very, very nice young lady, she's like, okay, she says to my mother-in-law, you have to, well, actually, she was asking my mother-in-law questions, and she turns to me, and she says, and who are you? I says, I'm Gwen. She's like, okay. She goes, in your relationship to my mother-in-law. I says, I'm her daughter-in-law. I don't know how she took it. I didn't see her face, concerning the fact that she's not very approving. I'm thinking that she was probably cringing inside, but that's okay. So, so the nurse says to her, she's all right, you got to take your shirt off and your bra, if you're wearing one, and put on the hospital gown. So the nurse left the room, and my mother-in-law says to me, she goes, you can't look. And I'm like, I said to her, I said, well, one, I'm not going to, and two, I says, it's not anything I haven't already seen. And I says, besides, I says, both my daughter and I walk around the house in bra and panties. So it's not like it's a big deal. I says, we're all girls. So it's, women are more open and accepting of being around other naked women. So anyways, so she got into bed, and the interesting thing is the room that she was in, it was an exam room and a procedure room. So they were going to do everything right there, which I thought was really amazing. So they wound up, they were going to do what's called a bronchoscopy, where they're actually going to insert, not a tube, but a camera down her windpipe and into her one lung that has the spot of cancer. And the doctor said they were going to be looking at her lymph nodes, and if possible, they were going to try and get some samples. I kind of figured it out. What they're looking for is lymphatic cancer, or lymphoma, I think it's actually called. So, so I went out into the waiting area, and she went through the procedure, and she was in there a little over an hour, and the doctor had called me and said I had to abort the procedure. I'm like, oh, really? Why? Well, the anesthesia that they had given my mother-in-law was a very light anesthesia, typical what you would get, typically what you would get with a colonoscopy, and you're semi-conscious. You're not fully sedated. So the doctor said that my mother-in-law was starting to get hypertensive. Her blood pressure was up to 200. So she said to be on the safe side, she felt it was worth aborting the procedure. I'm like, I agree. You should. There's nothing wrong with that. So they're going to reschedule. She's going to have to go back to the hospital, and she's going to go into general anesthesia. So she'll have an anesthesiologist. She'll be in an operating room. So the whole OR and all that other stuff. So I'll take her back for that. So anyways, she was somewhat recovered, and I came back into the exam procedure room, and I was talking to the nurse. So the nurse says, well, I still have to finish getting her dressed, and I'll get her in a wheelchair and get her out to patient discharge. So if you want to go get your car. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I walked out of the procedure room, and it's this long hallway. This is actually, to me, it was very funny. So I'm walking out in this long hallway, and they have some cross hallways. And probably, maybe about 50 feet away, I see this nurse. She's walking crossways from me, and she looks up at me, and I'm like, I wave back. I'm like, who the heck was this nurse? I had no idea. So I walk out into the patient waiting area, and then downstairs to go get the car, and I'm walking through the first floor to exit the hospital, and I have my computer shoulder bag with me, my coat over my arm, and I had knee-high black boots on because it was cold out. So I'm walking down the hall, and I noticed some of the patients and the visitors were kind of like moving to the side. Oh, and I also had my ID badge on because the hospital is associated with the university, which I'm a part of. So I see people moving to the side. I'm like, why are they moving to the side? Then it dawned on me. Because of the outfit I was wearing, I looked very professional. And because of that, people thought I was either a doctor, or I was, more than likely, they thought I was some hospital administration official. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it dawned on me. It took me that long, but it dawned on me. I'm like, oh my God. They think that I'm a hospital administrator. It was kind of very affirming, the fact that, they see this professionally dressed woman, and they think that I'm somebody that's part of the hospital administration, which I thought was really, really kind of interesting. So I got the car and got over and picked her up, and got her back. Well, actually, we stopped for food, which was good because she needed it and she felt better after having her food, and got her back home. Well, the whole thing was, for me taking her and to dress the way I did, very smartly, it was because I wanted her to see that the fact that I am transgender. I wanted her to see that people accept me as my authentic self, and I'm not some guy in a dress. And I think just by the interactions with the people in the hospital with myself, I think she got a little bit better understanding as to how easily I pass, so to speak, as a cis female. So I think all in all, it was a really good or nice adventure. Myself, it was routine. I'm used to doing this, but I think for her, it was good for her to see that her perceptions of who I am are not the same perceptions as what the public sees. So all in all, I think it was good. And going forward, since I have to take her back for her general procedure, I know the hospital, so I know everywhere around it. So I told her, I says, I'll take you for that. It's not a big deal. And then depending on what they find out, they're going to tailor her radiation treatment for what she's going to need. And I will probably wind up taking her back for that. But that's in the future. Mostly also, too, because I'm more available than my kids are. And probably by the time she starts into her procedure, my partner will already be living in Panama. My partner is actually anticipating the next 2 to 3 weeks of moving down to Panama. I will stay here, depending on what happens. I still have my dogs I need to take care of, but also too, because I'm not going to transport my dogs. They're just too old, and except for Dexter. But also too, depending on if I do relocate to Panama, it's going to depend on the political climate, and how bad it is for the LGBTQ community, with the current federal administration. But that's neither here nor there. At the moment, well, things change on a daily basis, so we'll wait and see. So anyways, that's pretty much about it. That was the highlight of my week, was last week. Easter, I cooked for the family. We had a small ham. I made au gratin potatoes. And first time ever, I did roasted asparagus. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I love it. I love asparagus anyways. But roasting it, and then just a light sprinkle of Parmesan cheese, changed the entire taste of it. Oh my God, it's amazing. So that was pretty much our Easter celebration, and that was it. So I'm in electrolysis, so I got to wrap up. And as always, like, share, subscribe. If you have any comments, suggestions, things you would like me to talk about in the future, please, in the comment section below. I answer all comments, as those of you who have been around long enough know. As always, like, share, subscribe. And I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week and an even better weekend. And I will see you all here next Tuesday, not Wednesday, next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.